Papa Swolio's coming. Here comes Daddy, here comes Papa Swolio. Papa Swolio. Papa Swolio. Here comes Papa Swolio. Papa Swolio's going.
Sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Testing, testing, testicles, testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 777 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, and sleazecast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. And as you can see, I just cracked. Oh, Papa Swolio's getting old. What's going on, fam? Welcome to episode 777. Welcome to the Sextuple Cast, or whatever it is, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, apparently, because the trolls are here, that worthless platform. Go sit in the corner, Periscope. I'm small, Barnes. That's not nice, but everyone, you can catch the podcast and some awesome audio content on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts. Catch me everywhere, Swolenormous. You know where to find me. Just type it in. And yeah, you want to see the biggest muscle, P. Barnes? Tool bag. Welcome everyone to 777. As you can see, I'm not wearing pants, but you will not get the taint cam, unfortunately, today. So welcome, welcome. What's going on, Dale? What's up, Jason? Thank you so much for joining me tonight on this beautiful Friday. Who got their pump on? Today is Flex Friday, and I got my pump on, and today was like really like a badass workout. Absolutely badass workout. It was so fucking sick. It was arm day for me, and I didn't have a lot of time to do it, but I got it in. It was one of those days where I actually did a IGTV, a brand new vlog that I will be putting up tonight, ideally maybe tomorrow, but you'll get that notification if you're following me on Instagram and on IGTV. I did a vlog today. It was really about just not wanting to go work out, but I fucking did. I went, I crushed it, and it was nasty. I went, I crushed it, it was nasty, and those are always the best, right? Those are always the best workouts. It's when you don't want to go. It's when you don't want to go and you do go, and those are the ones that are like super, super sick. I just realized I forgot to turn on Instagram, so we'll get that going right now. There we go. All right, so Instagram's here. Cool. So let me see here. What we got? What's going on? John, Jason, got my lunch pump on. Sweet. Fucking leg day for me. I pumped it up an hour ago, but felt discomfort in my left elbow. So I did some leg shit for a bit. What's going on with your elbow, man? Did you see that? Did you see that Daily Swole Club that I posted or that I sent out on Messenger with that forearm release, that little forearm strengthener for the extensors? I sent out a link. You can also message me, and maybe I can find that link for you too, because it's a great little device. It depends on whether where your forearm issues are, or where you're feeling the discomfort. What's going on, Instagram? What's going on? Friday night. I love doing a Friday night swole because all the real hardcore peeps show up, right? It's only like it's all the hardcore. The hardcore swollers show up on a Friday's eve. Oh man. So today's episode is really just some rage, some good rage, some positive fire for the weekend, because on Fridays I always feel like I need to check in on an emotional standpoint. I need to check in with like a mental checkup, like, yo, it's fucking Friday, but it's no reason to be a jabroni. Hey, Scuba Steve, thanks for hosting old Papa Swolio on Twitch. Appreciate it. Super nice of you. Muchísimas gracias, Scuba Steve. Yes, I did. So it was a very weak pain, but didn't want to test it. Yeah, you don't want to test that shit. You don't want to push it because that's inflammation. Pain is your body telling you something. That goes back to one of the recent vlogs that I did about listening to your body. You want to listen to your body, but you don't want to bend to your body's will, right? You want to stay strong mentally. And a lot of times I talk about ignoring feelings and emotion. It doesn't mean you ignore signals. Feelings and emotion are not the same as signals. And those are usually what I mean by that is pain. If you're having pain, if you have issues like inflammation, your body is telling you something's wrong, you listen to those feelings. If you don't feel like working out, you might have to be a little analytical because maybe you didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Maybe you didn't eat enough food earlier. Maybe you usually like to have some more food in your stomach, or you are dehydrated. So it could be a bunch of reasons why you might be having a feeling, but an actual signal, you have to pay attention to those things. Leg day was on fire today. Rest days with stretching tomorrow. Nice. LOL was just watching 776. Wow, you're just in time for... All right, Russell, you can stay. Stay with us for 777. Then you go back to 776 and do your homework. Do your homework, son. Yes, leg day was fire today. Rest days with stretching tomorrow. Sweet. Oh, my goodness. So today, my workout, I did some shoulders, but I was doing some rear deltoid earlier in the week when I did back. So I didn't focus too much on that. I did some, but I didn't do any prone presses. I didn't do anything like really isolated. I guess I did some on chest day as well. No, I know that was back day. It was back day. And I also did a lot of side raises. And I want to talk a little bit about how to get more out of the same exercise. So we talked about, doing simplicity, doing less exercises, making it, I guess, narrowing it down, narrowing your focus, kind of like those blinders on a horse. We talked about that, how you should be doing less exercises or less sets, or not necessarily less sets, but less exercises and less variety, and focusing so you can get more done, right? And, squeeze more out of those basic exercises because basic exercises work. And today I kept it really, really simple. And I just did a lot of sets. I just kind of went back and forth. So I did some bicep curls. I felt like doing standing curls. And I also did some flexion tricep extensions. And what that means, a lot of you know what that means. Those of you that are members of Swolenormous X, you're familiar with some of those exercises where you get some more shoulder flexion to stretch and get all aspects of the triceps. A lot of people do triceps really static, and they miss a lot of the action because different muscles interact differently at the shoulder joint in the triceps area. The long head crosses the shoulder, and you need to change the angle of the humerus in order to access all the musculature of the triceps to really build it out. So I did those. I did standing bicep curls, did some concentration curls, but I didn't do any like real mass. I didn't do any barbell curls. I just didn't feel like doing the easy bar. I didn't feel like doing that. I just felt like kind of customizing it, squeezing, isolating, one arm versus the other, and doing some isometric holds. But let's get a little bit more into the simplicity of training. And one of the ways I really like to get into my focus of a specific exercise when I narrow things down, I do a lot of isometrics and negatives. I do a lot of isometrics and eccentrics. And the time under tension, and not just that, but the different mechanical action of the muscles and how the muscle decelerates and then shortens, because when you're lengthening and slowing the weight down, for example, that's the lengthening portion, the eccentric contraction, when the muscle is lengthening while providing force, it slows it down. So when you're doing eccentric, you're providing some resistance in order to lower the weight control. But then when you stop it halfway and then come back up or do like pulse reps, you're changing, you're getting like you're slowing it down and then accelerating the opposite direction. So your vector force is changing in terms of where the weight is moving. But your muscle is just kind of like focusing on this specific range. And it's really great. It's really a great method to get a couple extra reps and squeeze out a little bit more. And it's a really great method that I use a lot today. I did some isometric holds at the top, which is also huge. So if you remember from one of my last episodes, when I was talking about the eccentric, isometric, and concentric, I was explaining how the concentric contraction is the weakest. And the isometric contraction is the second strongest, and the strongest contraction is the eccentric. It's when the muscle is lengthening while contracting rather than isometric or concentric. So it's hardest to move weight away from gravity, against gravity, which makes sense. That's why if you have, for example, let's say 300 pounds on the ground, whether it's a box or a bar, it's going to be easier to move it if you push it across the floor. You might not be able to lift it up, but you can push it across the floor because you're moving The angular force that you're providing is not in direct opposition to the force of gravity. So it's easier to push 300 pounds across the floor rather than lift it directly against in the opposite direction. And that's and that, for example, is one of the beauties of doing some pulse reps and doing some partial reps and doing isometrics. You get so much more out of the same muscles, and you're using the same exercises. And it's super, I want to say it's super safe, because safe is very relative. It depends, but it's very effective to do these types of things with all types of exercise. And this is where you can really expand your home training. For those of you that do home training, that work out at home, you might have limited equipment, which is normal. Because if you're at home, you don't have a whole gym. So some of you might have a rack, some of you might have more stuff, but not all of you have a mad variety. Some of you don't have a power rack, or you don't have a pull-up bar. Like, some of you are missing some items, which is fine. You know, if you can get them, you can. But when it comes to training at home, you need to get a lot more out of less variety, just because you simply don't have access to necessarily all the stuff a big gym has. So in that situation, partial reps, isometrics, and doing these types of exercises are fantastic, because you get more overload in the same exercise. And if you're doing basic exercises, you can see tons of progress, tons of change just by changing the time under tension with the same weight. And that's a really good skill. The only thing that I have a problem with when it comes to time under tension is people that think it's just relative no matter what weight you're doing. Well, if I do 5 pounds and I hold it longer, no, it's not going to work the same. Just because you're, instead of doing 50 pounds and going up and down, you're doing 10 pounds and you're holding it for longer, that 10 pound is not going to do the same as those 50s. It's better to go to 40s or 30s and do a similar action. That way you can build more muscle, and that way you can do more, have more overload on the muscles. So just because it's not equal, you can't just multiply it out. Holding 10 pounds for longer doesn't equal holding 30 pounds not quite so long. It's different. It's a different approach. There's a middle ground. I'm getting it back soon, Captain Awesome. Ha, hell yeah. That's my nickname. When I was teaching in school, my nickname, everyone called me Captain Awesome. It just stuck. Because I am awesome, but then I called myself Captain Awesome, and then everyone else just called me Captain Awesome, then it just stuck. I forgot about that. I forgot about the Captain Awesome. Holy shit. That's right. First rest day in 2 weeks, feeling guilty. Oh, hush, Hillary. Come on. First rest day in 2 weeks. You know well and good that rest days are phenomenal. It's just your mental. It's just in your head. How many of you really feel like hardcore guilty when you miss one day? Like one day in the gym. Yeah, do you feel like really, like in your head, you just, oh my God, you just mentally feel just super, super bad about it? David took down Goliath with a small rock. Optimal. What does that mean? If you want to look like David, then you can pick up your small weights. I'd rather look like Goliath. Not at all. That rest day feels like a great recovery. Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. Tease, you can help me with foods advice. I don't know. I can barely read that sentence on freaking YouTube. But you can drop a comment here. I've been on the elimination diet, Lewis. I've been on the elimination diet for 3 months now, but I feel like I've met a plateau. Well, you're not supposed to be on the elimination diet for 3 months, really. 3 months is about double. You know, what are you meeting a plateau with? You're not supposed to stay on it. The elimination diet is a process so you can figure out the best foods for you. The foods you're eating on the elimination diet aren't necessarily the best foods for you. You're just narrowing it down. You're narrowing it down from foods that are commonly inflammatory. But your elimination, and anyone's elimination, can be any combination of foods. You can eliminate anything from your diet. And, you know, remember, you want to do this for health. You don't want to eliminate stuff from your diet if it's going to compromise your health. But you can eliminate foods any food, eliminate anything. Eliminate anything to see if, I mean, come on, if you were getting a rash, you would eliminate your laundry detergent. You would change different things and see if that rash went away, for example, right? You would use a different lotion or a different toothpaste. You would change something. That's what the elimination does. And then you start using it again. The rash or whatever comes back. The rash. I miss yoga now and then I pay for it. Yup. Says yoga is something you definitely miss when you stop doing it. I'm going to do my yoga tonight. I wanted to do it last night, but it got late. I have a feeling I'll probably miss it again tonight. If not tonight, tomorrow, but I already trained today. I've eliminated dairy, breads, and any processed foods. Okay, well, what are you eating, Lewis? Because those are just part of the things that you can eliminate. Now, I don't know. I mean, you might feel like you've met a plateau. Have you, or are you just saying you feel like you have? What are you measuring this on? I always have to ask, because just because you feel like you've hit a plateau doesn't mean you're hitting a plateau. You lost 20 pounds within the first 2 months, haven't lost any since, and been more dedicated at the gym. So what? You haven't hit shit, man. If you've been more dedicated at the gym, don't forget you're building muscle too. So you might still be losing, you might have lost another pound or two of fat, and you might have gained a pound or two of muscle. So it might even out. You can't go by the scale. And if you're going by the scale, that's 100,000% the wrong way to go about it. I'm eating sweet potatoes, yuca, grass-fed beef, potatoes. You can try eliminating regular potatoes, because I think white potatoes are a nightshade, and some people have issues with nightshades, but most don't. You lifted, ran 5.5 miles, and pulled an 8-hour retail shift. Oh, nice. That's Nicholas. Nice. There you go. Lewis, I think you're fine, man. I mean, if you're not doing accurate body fat composition, you don't know if you're still seeing progress or not. It sounds like you're doing great, man. I would give it another month. Or just start, or tell me what else you're eating, because I'm sure you're not eating only those things. Like, really, what else are you eating? Are you drinking enough water? Are you hydrating enough? I lost 1 pound in 4 months. I make progress, I think, but any advice to me? Keep going. I have no advice. I mean, good. Keep going. Keep going to the gym. Drink a lot of water. Eliminate the bad foods. Super vague. Super vague. I'd love to help. I don't understand. Like, I mean, any advice? I have 776 other episodes of advice if you want to check them out. That's so easy to say now. It's like, yeah, I got about almost 1,000 episodes. Go. I have plenty of info here. Plenty of information. Plus, I got workouts on my YouTube channel and exercise. I got stuff on Instagram with video tutorial. I have exercise tutorials on my Instagram TV. I got stuff everywhere. So I got plenty of advice, and I lay it all out. But if you have a specific question, I'm happy to answer. What's good, beardmosexual? You handsome bastard, you. Huckabee. You know how to push Papa Swoleo's nips, don't you? Using Papa Swoleo's rear delt cable technique. Baller workout. Isn't that fucking badass? How are you doing the rear delt cable, Austin, on Instagram? How are you doing it? Are you doing the, like pulling it wide? Are you doing it from the high point, from a low point? How are you doing the rear delt? So you are using cables. You said cables. Lewis, we're back on the fat loss conversation for those of you that are listening to the podcast. I've lost fat around my gut, but haven't seen much in the last month. What do you mean? I'm still, and I'm not saying this to be immature or something, but what do you mean by that? Like, literally, I want you to think about what you're saying. You've lost fat around your gut. How are you measuring that? Yes, I drink a lot of water as well. A lot? How much water do you drink? And I'm asking these questions on purpose. I mean, how much fat have you lost around the gut, and how are you measuring this? How are you quantifying? Because you look down and you lost an inch? Like, I mean, are you measuring? Are you just weighing yourself? Are you just kind of observing how you feel and you think your clothes feel a little loose? Like, what are you actually doing? You feel bad. You'll feel bad. I have to miss 2 months of episodes. Oh no, 2 months. You'll be fine. I'll still be here. Well, you're going to be back in, what, 2 months? You'll be back in the 840s. Yeah, Hydro, check out my videos. I mean, more than happy to answer specific questions. That's just really vague. So go on my YouTube channel, watch some videos, and do a search on YouTube. It's very easy to search my videos on YouTube, and you're watching on YouTube Live. So if you type in the search bar, you type in Swolenormous, and then Swolenormous plus whatever word you want to see an episode on, and they'll all pop up, like all the episodes that have that keyword in it. Lewis, sorry, I've lost fat. What's fat? Fat around my gut, and I'm not measuring. It's just pure observation, and clothes are looser as well. Oh, Lewis, you have no, I mean, look, I'm going to be, in all due respect, you have no fucking idea if you're still making progress or not. You have no fucking idea if you've plateaued. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. No, if your pee comes out clear, that's fine. You might even need more water. Honestly, just because it's clear doesn't mean you're getting enough, but I'm sure you are. Yeah, and it's not to be rude at all, take it the right way, but you have no idea. You have absolutely no idea if you're making progress, because you're going to build muscle, especially if you're losing weight. So if you're relatively new to exercise, you're going to be losing some body fat, but you're also going to be putting on some muscle. So you might have lost another pound or two of fat, but your body might have kind of, crossed the stream, so to speak, in you building a couple pounds of muscle. So you might have, let's say you actually did lose 2 pounds, but you put on like a pound or 2 pounds of muscle, and you step on the scale and you don't really notice anything because maybe you just haven't lost a ton of like stomach fat, but you're building muscle underneath. And then you don't know. You won't know because the scale will say 250 or 240, whatever you are. So you don't know just by how your pants fit, because you're not going to lose weight you're not going to lose inches around your stomach endlessly. Like you have organs there. And not to mention, that's one of the primary places your body wants to store fat, around the stomach where the organs are, where it can access it quickly. Your body doesn't want to store fat in the calves. You're not just going to be like, oh, I ate too much, my calves are going to get fat. No, it's your ass, it's your stomach, it's under your arms, it's near the body. And the reason is because if your body loses an arm or a leg, at least it's got fat around the organs to still live. Think about how people without arms and legs survive, because they're storing shit on their torso, and that's where the body wants to keep it. It's just my results were amazing the first 2 months, but I haven't seen much difference. Yeah, fucking A. All right, bro. 2 months? Of course you saw amazing results in the first 2 months. That's how it works. I mean, have you ever worked out before? Are you new to the gym, or is this your first time, or you're just getting back into it? And that's how it always happens. You're always going to make results. It's called newbie gains. You make results at the beginning, and then it's going to get slower. Yeah, consistency and patience. For fucking sure. Holy shit. 2 months. I remember my first beer. Good job, man. You're doing great. You're doing great. You need patience like a motherfucker. You need a shitload of patience. I drink about 100 ounces a day. My biggest obstacle is quitting smoking. I know it'll help my workouts if I do. Yeah. You'll help your recovery. You'll help everything. If you're smoking, it affects how your body can transfer oxygen. It takes up a binding site on the hemoglobin. Not to mention it's making your lungs less elastic. It's fucking you up brutal. No scales, learn my lesson. Yeah, Sherry, get rid of them. No scales, fam. You've been working out for 10 years, but never consistent. Always ate crap before I came across your content. All right, so you're kind of new, honestly. If you weren't consistent, then your body never really adapted ever. And if you always ate crap, then your body is still brand new. So you're still fucking fixing shit. You're still fixing shit. 10 years of being like, meh, and now you're turning it up. Bro, Lewis, just stick with the content. Keep watching my shit. Keep coming here and keep, staying on point, like watching my show and engaging here in the community will keep you more consistent. And then let's wait like another month or two. You'll see, man. And then we'll talk then. Then we can come across, just be patient. Hillary, oh, Dash has helped me more than rehab and therapy from my eating disorder. I would never have believed 40 years ago I'd get well by wanting to. Oh, Hillary, that's awesome. I'm so glad. I'm so glad, dear. Well, that's interesting. It's interesting because it just shows how mental. Dash is me. That's my name. What is Dash? I mean, Papa Swolio. Oops. That's my actual name. I know. It's like even my real name. Even my real name is just Even my real name sounds like an alias. What is Dash? Dash is me. I am Papa Swolio. Unless a lot of people actually think my name is Papa Swolio. Like legit. Maybe I'll be like Chad Ocho Cinco. And I'll actually change my name. Wait, did he do it? No, what's his name? Ron Artest? Whatever, Jabroni. Yeah. It's so much the mental game. It's so much the mental game. When you think about that comment, Hillary, you get well by wanting to. Yeah, meta world peace. Meta world peace. I couldn't think of it. I was like, world? Or like, I was like, what? Meta world. A guy changes his fucking name to Meta World Peace. That's ridiculous. Oh man, it's so crazy. That's so crazy. But anyway, so what Hillary was saying before about changing and fixing and healing her eating disorder based just by wanting to. I mean, of course you need the push and you got the content. You came across a video or my stuff and something inspired you. But it just shows how powerful the mind is. And that's why I always talk about the mental game. That's why I always talk about the psychology of training and feeling like it, motivation, and how it's discipline, it's consistency. You have to build that. You have to create it like Legos, like bricks. It doesn't just appear. Yeah. That's awesome. It just goes to show how much it's actually true, how exactly it is like it sounds. It's just the mind controls everything. The mind controls your body. The mind controls your body. That's what makes your muscles move. And if your brain controls your body, it controls other things, and not to mention how you feel. It goes both ways. If you're eating bad food, it's not refueling the brain. It's not helping out the brain too much either. So, it depends. So it's not just a one-way road. The beard inspired me, and I said to myself, I got to get swole in order to be sexy again. Let's get you sexy, Lewis. You're on your way. Just keep being patient, man. 2 months of being consistent. You said 2 months, and then the last month you've been really consistent with your training. So it's only been like a month, bro. Bruh. This conversation's like a meme, bruh. Bruh. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. I'm stroking the beard for you. I'm sending out good vibes. This is good karma. Stroking the beard's always good karma. It just sends good vibes out in the interwebs. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm sending good vibes to Lewis. Great beard. Thank you. This beard needs to be trimmed really bad, ain't it? I got some dead ends. Split ends, whatever you want to call them. I call them dead ends. And I really haven't groomed it. I haven't really even oiled it recently. I mean, I wash it. And my wash has like conditioners and stuff, but haven't really groomed it in like a couple days. I wish I could have such a flawless beard. Well, let me tell you, this beard, look how much it's curling. I mean, because if I sleep on that side, and I just didn't actually straighten it today, because I have to, this thing just gets like crazy, but it's too long. It needs to be reshaped. I need to reset, hit the reset button, and then, get it going again. Oh, Lewis, been training and doing the diet consistently for 3 months. Okay, now I will make it clear that the elimination diet, if you're doing it full blown, and it sounds like you're eating some things that I think might be on the elimination. I think beef is usually removed, but grass-fed beef I eat. Usually people aren't allergic to it, but some people find issue. I don't think necessarily you do. If you feel good, Lewis, I mean, how do you feel? I mean, how do you feel? Forget like your quote struggle right here. How do you feel physically? I mean, you feel good? You feel you have energy? Do you feel better? I'll be shocked if you say no, because you've been eating, consistently, and you're eating good foods and you're training, and you must feel amazing. But I want to hear it from you. Like if you're having any issues, you have any migraines or anything that may be attributed to something that you're consuming It's flawless. Oh, thank you, Nicholas. It feels flawless. Flat out flawless. Papa Swolio. You so sexy. That beard though. That beard though. So yeah, anyone that's listening, it takes time, yo. It takes time, fam. It takes time. Time. 3 months is still nothing for consistency. It's good. I mean, it's a start. It's a start though, but don't forget how long you're doing this for. You're doing this for the rest of your life. You're going to be healthy. I feel great and not to get out of hand, but the sex game is awesome too again. Get out of hand. I literally open the show with calling this a taint cast like every day. So I don't think anything is out of hand on the Daily Swole, but yeah, of course it is. You have more energy. You're more physically capable. I mean, you can move. You're going to have better endurance, better strength to hold yourself up when you're plowing. Fuck yeah. You got to try out those new moves, all right? Those disco sex moves. All right. I think we have like 11-year-olds sometimes watching this show. I've heard people say, my 11-year-old loves when you say this. I'm like, you let your 11-year-old listen to fucking me? Jesus. Why do you swear all the time? Because I can, beesh. Because I can. Russell, I picked up a TheraBand to help with tendinitis. How often do you use it? You can use it every day. What do you mean with tendinitis? You mean the bar or the thingy? What do you mean, the TheraBar, or you mean the what I sent out in the Daily Swole Club on Messenger yesterday? I use it regularly. But it depends. So I keep those kinds of things at my desk here, because then I just, pick it up and I can, fiddle. I can just do a few repetitions and stuff like that. Because you think about it, if you're at a desk or you're doing the same action over and over again, you're going to, you don't realize how many you're doing in terms of clicks. So if I'm sitting here and having my hand, my forearm, my wrist pronated and clicking and doing those repetitive movements, I don't even know how many I do, thousands a day, but I'm not doing thousands of reps of this. So you got to balance it out. Rubber thing, the blue one. Yeah. So it depends on how bad do you have medial epicondylitis? Do you have it on the inside of your elbow, Russell, or is it on the outside? It'll help with both, but it might be a little bit more irritating if you have it on the outside, because you're going to be doing you're opening against, you're doing the concentric contraction. So it could irritate if you have it on the outside. Inside, it's excellent. So the next post that I have, inside elbow. Yeah, Russell, this could help a lot. I hope it does. I hope it does for you. It did for me. And it still does. It hasn't come back. And honestly, sometimes I forget. That's why I leave it on my desk where I am the most, because sometimes I forget. I used to just put it in my gym bag and I'll do it before I train. But if I don't go train or I'm doing legs, I'll forget it's in my bag. It's in the other room or something. So I keep it right on my desk. So I do it more often. I'll just grab it and do like 10, 15 repetitions. I'll do a hold while I'm on the phone. Like right now, I'm holding it open right now, right here under the table, just holding it, strengthen the muscles in different positions. I do it with my elbow bent, my elbow straight. And what it does is it allows for those extensors to strengthen. So you don't get that overuse, or you balance out that overuse, and then there's less rubbing on the inside of the elbow. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking right here, fam. And I sent out a link yesterday. I did a little demo video and I sent out a link to this on Amazon. It's like, what, $10, $15? It's great. You can squeeze it too, so you can open, squeeze. And the next one I send out on the Daily Swole Club will be for lateral epicondylitis, for tennis elbow. So golfer's elbow is on the inside, tennis elbow is on the outside. Lewis, I know you've talked about chicken in the past. Is it that you find it not good for you? You simply don't like the taste? Neither. I love chicken wings for like a cheat food. I'm not a big fan of chicken breast. It has to be cooked right, but usually I like the same things, or the taste of the same things like everyone else. Fried chicken, but if I eat it, I'll probably get sick. But I'm not a big chicken fan, plain chicken. If it's seasoned right and cooked well, I just don't do it. It's not something I invest my time in. Plus, fats are good, and chicken is always super, super lean, and it's really hard to get quality chicken. You're getting more nutrients and better nutrients from grass-fed beef. Fatty beef, I eat a lot of fat and a lot of, high in animal fat in terms of my grass-fed beef. I have almost half of my patties are fat. It's 55% fat, and I have some beef heart. So I get beef, I get organ meats too, a liver and stuff too. Do you have any children? No. A fuck no, I don't. No, I do not. I got enough responsibilities. It's like I already got student loans. I don't need fucking more monthly payments. What about oil? Do you use oil? Oil for what? You mean my beard? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. There's nothing in it right now. This thing is just after a shower. It's just curly and wavy, but you got to straighten it. Most people that have a straight beard do that. If I just put balm or whatever and comb it, it doesn't do shit. It'll be smoother and it'll still look the same way. It doesn't do a damn thing. You can brush it all you want. Won't change a thing. Got to straighten it. Got to straighten that shit. To cook. I just assumed you were talking about beard. Do I use oil? Not really. Or you can. It depends on what I'm cooking. Sometimes I'll just use a little bit of, I'll use a little butter. A little butter and a little bit of coconut oil or something like that. Coconut oil is better. It's better for high heat. You don't get it doesn't burn. Olive oil burns. It smokes a lot and it's very carcinogenic. Do you prepare your own meal by yourself? I do. I can. Or my girl does it. Brush that chest hair, bruh. What do you mean brush it? You want me to? Do I have my beard? Do I have my beard brush? I don't know. But it has more saturated fat. Does what have more saturated fats? So what? Saturated fat's delicious and it's good. I believe so. I don't care what anyone says. There's a lot of good stuff coming from quality sources. Quality sources. I'm not talking about trans fat. I'm not talking about vegetable oils and polyunsaturated fats. Nicholas, I found that when I lift and run back to back, it kills my energy throughout the rest of the day. Do you think it would help to split my cardio, then rest and go and yes. Why I forget. I mean, forgive me. Why would you lift and why are you lifting? What are you trying to do, bro? I would run after you lift. I would lift first. But absolutely, it would help to separate them. Of course. Recovery is good. You don't have to necessarily do them in the same day either. Thanks, Thump. Love your content. How long were you following me on Periscope, back when I was going live on Periscope, a year ago? I only started doing it again the other day just because there's an option on my streaming. I'm like, oh shit, I'll go in Periscope. What the hell? I'm already here. It's just another button. I just wasn't going to set it up on my phone, but now Papa Swole, since I've upped my game, up my stream game, I'm wondering if I eliminate chicken, would I lose more fat? Possibly. I do consume chicken almost daily, but I always grill or saute it. Your toppings aren't the problem. Chicken's just a really shitty meat. And again, that's my opinion. A lot of people eat chicken all the time, but I think that's a huge problem with the fitness industry, this obsession and this overconsumption of chicken. Everyone's just on this fucking chicken tip. Chicken. Everyone's just fucking eating plain fucking chicken. It's disgusting. And I'm telling you, the reason why plain chicken tastes fucking gross and dry and tasteless is because there's nothing in it that you need as a human being. I swear. Can you survive on it? Sure. Can you build muscle on it? Sure. But I think you'll be much more satisfied eating quality, 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef, wild game, those types of things. I think you'll just be better off. I think you have more energy. You'll feel better. No more Swolenormous. The fuck are you talking about? I'm not going to brush my chest hair. That's weird. Oh, that's right. I had a feeling you were doing the military. I just forgot. Oh, you do lift first. Yeah, you'll definitely have more energy if you split it up. Split it up, man. Why don't you try it and you tell me? you'll definitely have more energy because you're recovering. You get some time to relax. If I ever did any type of cardio, I would do it after because I don't want to exhaust myself for my lifting. My lifting is more important for me. But yeah, I mean, you put the most important shit first. You're a huge fan of bison. There you go. Bison's good stuff. Papa Yoga. Papa Yoga. Papa Swolio. Papa Yoga. Specifically, what kind oh, dude, I forgot it was you, fucking Hexy. PV. God damn it. I'm like, who is this person talking about my chest hair? What the fuck? And I forgot that you were Hex. Oh, jeez. All right, that was weird. I'm like, why is this person talking? Fuck you, man. Damn it, bitch. I still love you too, bro. Jason, so yoga, specifically, what kind do you recommend or enjoy doing? Very experienced Bikram yogi, but I can't give money to that piece of shit anymore. You mean like the dude himself or what he stands for and all those issues, right? What do I recommend? First off, I used to do a type of Bikram flow. It's pretty much Bikram, and I kind of like the actual repetition. You really do adapt well to it. Also, I like yin yoga. Yin is very good. It really depends on what type of training you're doing. If you're doing yoga to get better at yoga because that's what you do, is that your primary, or is that something you're adding in assistance to your weight training? I used to love the vinyasas, right? You know, the ones that are more strength yoga. However, they're very challenging. They're very challenging, especially if you're doing vinyasa, like intermediate or advanced vinyasa, and you're doing it hot. Fucking exhausting. And it's a whole workout, and it would take away from my training. So the best pairing with resistance training is yin yoga because you are doing long holds, you're inhibiting the tissue. You're just doing, it's a very, very, very good, I would say, counterweight to resistance training. That's my personal preference. And we have those classes on Swolenormous X. So if anyone watching is interested in unlimited yoga classes, new classes every month, when you're a member of Swolenormous X, and yeah, I got a lot of yin classes. And that's swolenormousx.com if you're new to watching or listening. If you want to check out all the programs and nutrition content, everything like that. Lewis again on YouTube. And for those listening, Lewis, we were talking about training for 3 months and losing 20 pounds and kind of plateauing a little bit. And we discussed that earlier in the show. I'm worried about blood pressure if I consume beef daily. I had high blood pressure a few years ago because I constantly dined at steakhouses. My doctor told me to cut down on beef. Why would beef raise your blood pressure? What does that have to do with it? I consume beef. Holy shit, do I consume a lot of beef, and I'm fine. And the steakhouses that you dined at weren't grass-fed beef, and they were probably covered in all sorts of fucking oils and shitty butters. Not to mention, you were probably, at a steakhouse, were you drinking water and eating a salad and everything healthy, or were you drinking a beer or two and having fries or a potato with butter and fucking shitty table salt all over it? I mean, what were you eating at those steakhouses? So tell me a little bit more about that. I'm not trying to blow you up, but look, I mean, no one's eating like a prince at a steakhouse if you're constantly eating out. You're constantly eating a lot of bad shit if you're eating out. It's not the steak. I mean, it probably was a steak too, because it's probably shitty meat. Shitty grain-fed meat. I'm curious about what too. What do you mean? I know some people put egg yolks on their meat. Okay, I mean, you could put steak and eggs. That's a classic breakfast. Now remember, I'm not recommending that any of you go out and just eat meat all the time, like every day. I'm just telling you what I do. But I make sure my shit is 100% grass-fed. I get quality meat. I don't go into the supermarket and get, grade C beef. I've seen studies that show how beef can cause high blood pressure. Send those studies, because what happens, here's another one. For years, everyone was demonizing meat and red meat, cholesterol, and all this shit. However, these studies from people eating a lot of beef, chances are they're either smoking, or they're not exercising, or they have other bad habits that can lead to high blood pressure, high stress, poor stress management. I doubt all those people were meditating and doing yoga, those that they studied. So you can't put a lot of stock into these fucking studies. What are they testing? Who's paying for the studies? How big was the sample population? How long did they track it for? What metrics and what did they actually measure in the test? Where did you saw a study? Did you read the study? Or did you read an article about the study? How you interpret the study matters. And a lot of these supplement companies, for example, or anyone that's writing articles, usually sensationalize things. Because if you're writing an article, if you're writing a scientific paper, and for everyone that's listening, if you don't know what a scientific article looks like, it's fucking another language if you don't know how to read it. And a scientific paper is literally black and white. It's this. This is the study, is what we did. This is boom, boom, boom. It's literally just fucking stats and charts. Now, you'll, in muscle and fitness and all these websites, you'll read a study and then someone will write an article about it, but that's their interpretation, and then you're reading it, and it's about whether or not they fucking knew what they were reading when they read the study, and how they spin it and what their agenda is. So you have to really go to this. You have to go to the source. At steakhouses, I would eat a porterhouse, filet mignon, ribeye. I don't know. You're eating low quality meat. And I would usually drink red wine. Okay, so you're drinking alcohol. Have mashed potatoes. Okay, so you probably had butter and whatever hydrogenated oils they put on it, or whatever quality potatoes and how they cooked it and what they mashed and spiced it with. Asparagus. Okay, probably nothing wrong with that. As side dishes. Yeah, you're eating porterhouse, filet mignon, and ribeye and sirloin, and you're eating grain-fed beef. Go look up the massive differences in the quality of grass-fed versus grain-fed meat. Night and day. So many of the members here in the community and those that are in Swolenormous X have eliminated grain-fed beef, and they're eating grass-fed beef, and they feel fucking amazing. Where grain-fed beef would mess them up, they eat grass-fed and they feel fantastic. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's why I want you to eliminate chicken too, because chickens are pumped full of antibiotics and fed grain and all this stuff. They're not pecking out bugs and shit. They're in a cage, mashed together and slaughtered. But they're not healthy. Now, you can argue all you want about the moral aspects of eating animals, this, that, and the other, but that's not what we're arguing here. We're arguing about eating a healthy animal or eating a sickly, dying animal that was dying already, that was killed before they would have died naturally. And what grain-fed cows, the issue with the whole industry, and the food industry is fucked to beyond, it's so fucked up. I'm not saying it isn't fucked up, but and honestly, it's the only way that people are surviving because of the population size and all this stuff. And you can say, well, you're not going to feed, billions of people off vegetables. It's just, we have to grow them, and then we're going to have to create genetically modified grass that grows more in plants. Too many people, not enough food. So I'm not getting into the moral aspect of it, but if you have a sick animal or an animal that's not getting out, that's stressed, yeah, it states no antibiotics, no added hormones or steroids. And it also comes down to the stress of the animal. The stress, are they in confined spaces? Are they really free range? What are they fed? They might not be had antibiotics, but where are they fed? What are they actually eating? It makes a difference, man. So, I mean, forget the chicken, but you're definitely not eating quality beef. I've never seen steak houses that had filet mignon, grass-fed beef, maybe super, 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 super high-end in LA might have it, or a place in New York City, a really obscure place, but it's USDA grain-fed Angus, grain-pumped beef. I'm not saying go back. I'm not saying go against doctor's orders or this, that, and the other, but it's something to absolutely look into, man, and to think about and consider. And I'm only saying from personal experience. Let's see. What do you think about eating every 3 hours? Does it work? or it's just not for everybody. Everything works. Everything works for someone. There's always something that works for someone that doesn't work for something else. So you might see great results eating every 3 hours. What's your goal? What are you trying to accomplish? What are you used to? What's your habit like? What's your schedule like? Your work schedule, your training schedule? Some things are, sometimes intermittent fasting is better for some people based on their schedule and consistency. Some people, if they intermittent fast, they indulge too much at night and they swing too much the other direction. They overeat. Just trying to find good replacements for chicken so I can eliminate it for a few and see if there's any difference. You might find better. I mean, turkey's usually in the same boat, and you can have wild game, pastured eggs and stuff like. I mean, it depends on what else you're eating. But have you tried grass-fed beef? Have you tried 100% grass-fed, grass-finished, little fattier beef? You're not going to die from having it. Just asking if you've tried it. Do you make use of sodium? I use Celtic sea salt if I need it. I fast and it's been working for me. Good. Do you grow your own veggies to avoid pesticides? No, I don't have a garden. I'm in a... You're not going to avoid everything. You walk outside, you're sucking down fumes. You buy organic vegetables, you're still getting pesticides on them. You're just getting organically classified pesticides. And then you got household cleaners. Then you have... Who the fuck knows? You're not going to eliminate all your threats, nor should you, because you'll be too weak of a human being. You might get sick too often. You don't want to be a hypochondriac and live your life in a fucking bubble. However, you can minimize the risk where you can. That's all I'm saying here. You're not going to minimize the fact you can eat healthy and do everything perfect and walk across the street and get hit by a fucking car. It doesn't keep you safer. It just gives you lower risk or less logical risk. We're just doing the best we can with what we have and the information that we have. And common sense, because you know people that have treated their bodies like shit until their old age and they live to be in their 80s and they might be in a wheelchair or they might be on medication, but they live longer. Like, you're not going to necessarily die when you're 50 because you had chicken. However, it could lead to something later on, but how would you connect it? I got cancer when I was 65. Maybe if you didn't eat eat chicken for 40 years, maybe you wouldn't have gotten it, but how do you know that, right? I'm just saying what I'm aware of, that yes, I've been eating 100% grass-fed beef for the past 3 months, but I've only been consuming it once or twice a week. Okay. That's fine. I eat it more than that, but there's good research that shows you should do meat fast or eat it less often. It's all opinion, really. It's all opinion. There's some studies here and there, but the long-term studies, this nutrition shit is so new. And anyone that tells you that they know the answer, that this is it, this study shows this, no, they don't exist. They don't exist. These types of studies exist in specific sample populations and specific quantities with specific tests done. They don't have all the information. Because the mind is so important, you can't underestimate how powerful it is to have someone who's doing yoga, lifting weights, meditating, relaxing, reducing stress, eating clean, 100% grass-fed beef or this. And, if your overall wellness and living, with quality environment, if you have someone with all these factors, you'd have to find 10,000 or 1,000 of those people exactly and test them. It's hard to. And here's one more thing. You ready? You ready? Think about this. And this part freaks me the fuck out. Ready for this? This is going to light your fire. Check this out. Who the fuck does these studies? I want you to think about this. Really think about this. Who are these people that are in these fucking studies? Where are they finding them? Have you ever done one of these studies? Have you ever done one of these studies? It leads me to think, well, maybe because the people doing these studies aren't that healthy, or they need $100 or whatever they're paying them, or they just happen to be walking down the street, or they went to like some old age home, or they went to another country, or they went where are these people doing these studies at? They're not always at a university. They're not always done with college age kids. Like, where are they finding these fucking people? Where are they finding these people? What you may not know is a lot of times people that are doing these studies are rewarded. I don't know if you knew that. It's like a barter. It's like a barter. Sometimes you go and you do a study and you might receive a coupon to the mall or a $25 gift card to the movie theater. You know, you partner up with like, you know, Regal Cinemas or something, and they give you, okay. Or you get a $10 gift card to Marshall's. I don't know, but I've done studies in college. I've done, like, I was in charge of one. We had a group. It was a senior research project. So you have to, I mean, why would someone come in and do your study? Why would you go in and do a study unless there was something in it for you, right? You go and donate blood. Hey, 2 free movie tickets. Can you imagine if, like, hey, donate blood. We're not giving you shit. Those blood bank buses wouldn't get any blood. Like, no, I'm not giving you blood. What, just because I'm free? I'm available. Take my fucking blood. Vampires. It's just like, who are these fucking people in these studies? And one of the reasons why you don't get a lot of good quality information about nutrition, let me tell you why. Because a lot of people that are being tested are sick, are unhealthy, and they're measuring the difference when they change things with obese people. You know why they're always getting obese people? Because healthy people don't go to the fucking doctor. If you're healthy, you don't go to the fucking doctor. That's why you don't get these tests done on fucking healthy people. If you're healthy, you're not going to the doctor. You're not in the realm of doing these fucking studies. You're usually too busy going to the gym and fucking getting shit done. I don't know who is a part of this. Just think about that. If you saw this, hey, come in here and do this test and we'll give you a $10 discount or a coupon. And you're like, oh, cool. That's a good use of my time. Let me do this 3-month study. Nope. I mean, you know, it's like, who the fuck is signing up for this shit? And chances are it's people that are around these medical communities, and chances are they're probably not healthy anyway. So we're doing tests on people that aren't really healthy to begin with to see if simple changes over a short period of time make a difference. And then we measure the percentages, then we publish a paper, because now it's a status symbol to have papers published. It always was, but now people are pumping out papers, 5, 10, 15 papers a fucking year. I don't know if you ever did a research paper. It's fucking time consuming and it takes fucking long. They just have their student assistants pumping them out and probably helping and doing these studies. And then the professor puts their name on it and they get written. And everyone's just trying to get in the journal, just pumping out paper. And a lot of these papers are just meta-analysis of other studies. So they do a study doing a freaking analysis of a bunch of studies. I mean, who are these? I mean, it's just a circle jerk. So I'm not saying research is bad. That's how we figure shit out. There's nothing wrong with doing research and studies, but the right studies that we need haven't been done yet. The studies we really need and the level in which we need them would cost $1 billion. That's why it hasn't been done. Because all these big companies, the food companies, the government, the medical companies, all these companies that want you to be sick are not going to invest $1 billion in health. They'd rather make hundreds of billions off cancer research. They'd rather make hundreds and billions off cancer medicine. They'd rather make hundreds of billions off, you know, in their pockets getting reelected for the next term. So it's just a big fucking circle jerk. So don't believe shit that you fucking read. Don't make up your own rules. Doesn't mean to ignore shit, but don't fucking believe it just because it's written on paper by some fucking human being. Everyone's got an agenda. Everyone. I've got an agenda to help you make some sick fucking gains. They want us to be fat, so buy all kinds of shit. Yeah, they want us to be fat. So think about who has the money in this country and think about who's pulling the strings. it's kind of common sense, fam. It's really common sense. Think of who's pulling the strings. Who is pulling the strings? Who is in control? Who has the money? And who the fuck are doing these studies? Who the fuck? I want someone to come up and say, Papa Swole, we want you for a study. And I'll say, fuck you. I got too much shit to do. I don't want to do your stupid ass study and do your forms and fill out shit and show up and do tests and stuff. No way. Who the fuck is saying yes to this crap? And what are they paying them off with? We'll give you a reach around if you do the study. I'll consider it. I'll think about it. We're getting to the limit. Instagram's about to turn off. We got that hour limit. Any other final questions? We're good for the night. I'm going to let you all go. You got to make some gains. You got to go bang your girl, your guy. Everyone's got to go get laid and shit. Everyone's going to get some deesh. Everyone's trying to lay some pipe or get pipe laid onto them. It's Friday. Everyone's done making them gains, getting pumped. Well, fam, got some cool stuff I'm going to work on. Make sure, as always, you're following me on all my platforms. I know you have your few that you probably like more than others, but make sure you're following me over on IGTV. Download it, update your app, Instagram TV. It's super cool, and that's where I'm posting my new vlogs and stuff, and I'm doing some new shit over there, exercise demos. So go over there, check it out. You'll find it in my Instagram profile once you update, and you can click on IGTV under my profile and see what I got cooking over there. So it's good shit. Go check it out right now, and I will see you all tomorrow for episode 778 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Sleazecast, Beardcast, Nipplecast, Yokedcast, Pumpedcast, Jackedcast, and Mancast. In the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Peace, McGeese fam, deuce, magoose, Papa Swolio, out.